Hi, if you've ever wondered what it is an SEO looks at when they take on a new client, well, today I'm going to share that with you. In fact, over the next 3 videos, I'm going to break down exactly what I look at when I take on a brand new client, and maybe that will help you examine your own e-commerce store to see what it is that you could be improving. So this week, I'm going to be looking at the homepage, category pages, product pages, and navigation generally. And all without any tools except one little Chrome extension, which is freely available to everybody. And then next week, I'll be looking at content, I'll be looking at trust, I'll be looking at conversions, I'll be looking at calls to action. And then the week after that, so week 3, I will be using some tools to show you what I look at from a technical basis. And put together, all 3 of these videos are going to help you understand what you should be looking at in your own e-commerce store to see how you could improve, yes, the SEO for sure, but also what you could be doing to improve your sales rate. Okay, so let's dive in, shall we? A subject close to my heart is the outdoors. I love camping, I love walking, I love climbing, and I love outdoor trail running. So I've picked a website that focuses on all of those areas. And the one I've picked is this one that you see on the screen now called Alpkit. I picked on them for no other reason than they cover a world in which I am very interested. But what's interesting to note is these guys are doing very well. They've got a lot of traffic, they rank very well for a lot of keywords, and I suspect they are making a lot of sales. But what I want to show you over the course of the next 3 weeks is that even the biggest sites in their niche can be doing things better than they currently are. So let's start with the homepage, shall we? And the first thing I look at is, can I open the homepage and know what this site is about? Well, clearly there are a couple of clues up here from the menu, camping and equipment and bike. But if I just look at the page itself, it's not obvious where adventure takes you. Big video, which I have to say took a long time to load in when I first opened this page, and it says get adventure ready. So it's not really a clear call to action. If I click on it, it takes me to the Outpost Mountain Journal, which again tells me nothing at all other than I'm guessing it's a blog. And I go down and it is a blog, and eventually I get to a few products. So a bit of a strange choice that the main banner, which fills the whole screen, goes straight to a blog. I would be looking at a call to action as an obvious call to action, some secondary text on here that very obviously makes it clear about what I can do. And personal choice, I wouldn't have video either because it just slows things down. And then I scroll down the page and I see bike, camp, hike. We've got some strange scrolling thing going on here. It makes me scroll, or it gives me the option to scroll. There's no need, everything fits on the page quite well. And then there's more video, and then there's another layer, and then there's some product, and then another layer, various things going on, and another video, and another layer, and another video. And then that's a bike, that was a bike, and another layer, and another layer, and more layers. So it's a long home page, and it's very disjointed, feels to me very disjointed, and very much here's everything we do, have a look. And then this extension, Chrome extension, is called Detailed. I'll put a link to it in the description. You can download it for free, and it makes it very easy to see what the meta title, meta description is, headings and things like that. So title, Alpkit, great, it's the brand, that's what we want to be focusing on the homepage. Go nice places, do nice things. Okay, award-winning outdoor and bike brand, born out of passion for the outdoors, we run, hike, blah, 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 blah. Very good, does what you would expect it to do. So homepage, very long, lot of video, not very clear above the fold what it's about, and a strange choice to link to the blog before linking to any products or offers. Let's scroll down the page then and get into some categories. So the first one I went to was here, it's bike. Click on that, and then it takes me to new Falco trail bike. Okay, scroll down the page and I came to mountain bike deals, so I clicked on mountain bike deals, don't like pop-ups, so I just click that and it took me back there. Okay, that's a bit odd. So I did it again, thought I'd done something wrong, and it did it again, and it's took me back again. And then only then did I realise it is member exclusive, and it does say login to access members' details. But I suspect I'm not the first person that got here and gone, deals, that's what I'm interested in, and was struggling to work out why I couldn't access them. So then I go up to bikes, because I think, well, I'll have a click on bikes as a whole. I can't click on, that's not a clickable element. But if I click on gravel bikes, it takes me to a gravel bikes page, which is fab. And what I've slowly realised is Sonder is obviously a brand of their bikes that's linked to AlpKit, and when you're on the bikes, the main menu bar becomes a Sonder bar and AlpKit gets relegated. When you go back to AlpKit, obviously Sonder gets relegated and it's AlpKit and the menu bar here. Okay, so let's look at another category. So I scroll back down here, I went hiking. Let's have a look at hiking clothing. Fab, we've got hiking clothing. Click in detailed, hiking clothing collection for the UK's hills and summits, our performance clothing, blah, blah, blah. All good. UK's hills and summit, our performance clothing, so that's just taken directly from there. And then, but I don't have men's and women's hiking clothing, so I go on the filter. I do have gender, men, hide filter. Right, it has, it's filtered it for men. It still says hiking clothing. So if I go to men, what's new? Trousers, cycle clothing. I can't get that. It doesn't appear to be a men's hiking clothing page, and it's got a little bit of everything on here. So it's like the whole collection, but for men. So there doesn't appear to be a page for that, which would be an obvious target. Men's hiking clothing would be an obvious target. Now, of course, when we get to the technical review, I'll look at the individual pages and I'll find out whether that page actually exists or not, but I can't see it. It's not easy to get to. Let's drill down a little bit further then and let's go for women's trousers and see what we get on the category page there. Women's trousers, shorts and leggings. So the H1, I presume it's an H1. So we go to the detailed again, headings, H1, women's trousers, shorts and leggings. Perfect. And then the overview, women's mountain sports trousers. So a bit underused in terms of description. There's a lot more words they could be using to help with their click-through rates from Google. And the women's trousers, shorts and leggings just repeats the H1. So again, H1 is different from the meta title. They could be utilising semantically similar keywords to try and rank for a collection, a theme of search terms and not just the same search terms. And then, like you'd expect, they are well presented, good clear photographs. And what I really liked is at the bottom, we've got more content related to the product, which is fabulous. Makes it very clear to Google and the other search engines what the page is about. And then this mountain journal section at the end, which refers to their blog content, and I'll come back to that next week. Outdoor trouser buying guide, hill walking kit list, good stuff that, well, certainly this first article links very well to the page itself. Now, a couple of things that I tried that don't seem to work as well. So I try and click on a colour, doesn't do anything. It just doesn't go to the product, just reloads it. And then if I save it, so I've got a heart, I've got the heart symbol there to like it, love it, whatever. And I've got a notification appeared here, so I can click on here and they've appeared in the basket. And then the red, that's interesting. So the selector does appear, does stay fixed when I do it in here. And interestingly, I also get an add to basket or a notify me for out of stock here. If I go back to the category page, don't have an add to basket, which is a strange choice because a quick add to basket would be a really handy thing to have there. And I can't lock the colour in place either. So I've got functionality in the liked products page that I don't have in the category product page. Right, let's look at individual products that I am interested in. So let's go running tops and jackets, and let's say I could afford a £200 waterproof running jacket, if only I could. And we get to the page here, very nicely laid out. A simple headline, but actually a lot of copy under here telling me what the product's about. And then again below the video, I've got the features, I've got sustainability and product care and customer reviews. A couple of things here. I've got additional images, which is fine. But what I can't do on any of these is there's no zoom function. So I suspect that's why they've done a zoomed in picture, but it would be great to be able to see that in more detail with a hover or a click. And I'd be interested to see what that looks like on mobile when I tackle that next week. The other thing is this show more and show less. It's not fantastically obvious. I skipped past it a couple of times before I realised it was there. A couple of other things that they might want to think about is this video, great, it's fabulous to have a video showing the product, but it's hosted on YouTube, which gives everybody the opportunity to click off the website and go and watch it on YouTube. Now, if you hosted it somewhere like Vimeo, they could change all the branding to their own standard, their own style, and nobody's going to click off your website to go and watch the video. It's watched on the site. The other thing that was a bit give and take, so the give is this add to basket. This panel stays here all the time, which is fabulous, which is what you want to do, until you hit the product reviews, and then it disappears. And I can load more product reviews, and I can load more product reviews, and it's fabulous that product reviews are there, but having the add to basket button disappear is not brilliant. That really ought to be staying on the page. One last piece, so this is the jacket I'm looking at. It's £200. I've got no suggested other products, no upsell, no cross sell. I'm going to add this to my basket. It's appeared in the basket. There's no additional recommendations in here. If I view my basket, there's a may also like here. It's a waterproof running jacket. I suspect these are incredibly generic. I'm not sure an Arlo trowel for burying my poo goes well with an outdoor running jacket. And it says here, look, our best-selling add-ons this week. Well, I don't want the best-selling add-ons this week. I'm more likely to buy something if it's related to the jacket that I'm buying. So let's go to the checkout. Last chance to add something else to my order, and nothing there at all. So, you know, a real missed opportunity here for the site to increase the average order value. So there you go, that's the first assessment. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff really well. If you run your own e-commerce store, you could do a lot worse than looking at OutKit and emulating a lot of what they do. But as I've just demonstrated, there are things I suspect they could do differently that would improve their click-through rate, their purchase rate, and their average order value, all of which brings money to the bottom line and grows the business. So that's step one. It's an hour's worth of visual assessment of the site, of clicking assessment, what works, what does what throws me out, what didn't I expect. And all of that contributes to, I guess, the initial thoughts. What could I improve? What do I want to look at more? What looks like it's a problem? What looks like it's an opportunity. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, that's step one of the audit process. Next week, I will go through step two, which is also a visual process. There'll be no additional tools I use next week. And I'll be looking at things like calls to action, the branding, the blogs, the reviews, the social proof, other trust and credibility markers that you would expect to see on a website. And perhaps most importantly, I will be assessing the mobile version of the site to see what that is doing. So if you found this interesting, please come back again next week. If you would like me to carry out a completely free audit of your site, then just go across to this link. It is also in the description, and I will do a video audit for your site completely free of charge, and you can use that to improve your click-through rates and sales and average order value, as the case may be. Come back next week and see part 2 of my SEO audit process. Until then, take care. See you soon.